So let's start off with this. George is obviously a very busy man, right? Like I struggle to get a hold of him. I'm sure at times during the work days, he probably struggled to get a hold of him as well. What would you say is something you'd want to share with people who may be in a similar situation? Like, how do you cope with that? Because he's obviously super busy during the day, runs several businesses, several successful businesses. How do you deal with everything on your end?
To be honest, in the beginning, it was a bit of a challenge, but seeing how much he's grown over the years, I've become a bit more understanding. So if I can't get a hold of him, I'll just wait for him to call me back, to be honest. Yeah. Whereas back in the day, it did piss me off a lot. But seeing where he's come and how well he's done, I can be a little bit more understanding.
So she knows you're not fucking around.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, he must be working. Like this seems
just going for lattes all day.
Yeah, this seems to be making progress.
Do you know what? I reckon one of the most challenging things looking back at our life was when we had kids. So I started my construction business when we just had our firstborn, our eldest son, Stevie. And I think that was really difficult for me, but also for you, because I was so entwined in everything I was doing in the day-to-day operations of the business, and then having a young family as well. And in my world, like, I'm so completely busy at everything I had to do, and then you come home, you're tired, you might be a bit drained, you're coming home looking forward to seeing the family, but then Nicole had her own problems with not having any sleep, looking after a crying baby all day, changing nappies, feeling like crap. And
the timing probably couldn't be worse.
Yeah, I agree.
In saying that, prior to having kids, we did kind of make an agreement that I was to stay home with the kids. And George had a great vision, and I was supportive of him pursuing that. Although it was hard. It was hard.
And I just wish I had the hindsight. And this, for anyone that has young families now, and I even do this to my mentees, and I try and teach them that, like, if you do have a young family and you have got a business that you're running, you need to make sure that the time that you are home, you're present, and you're also like put your big boy pants on. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be hard. Support your partner at home, because it's not just you've had a hard day, she's had a hard day. It's no, I'm going to come home. What can I do? I regret so I never really did any night feeding or anything like that. And Nicole was very selfless in the sense of, George needs to work and get up early, I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then I took that role on, I'm going to provide. So, Nicole's going to do her thing, I'm going to do my thing and provide. And I think that can sometimes, whilst that might be good for the short term, I think in the long term, you can't keep going like that. You have to come together and you have to have that talk and discussion of going, look, I'm so tired tonight. Can you just do the feeding? So yeah, like, absolutely, I'll do that. I'll go to work tired tomorrow.
We really struggled at the communication.
Yeah.
If we were just a bit more open and just...
So true.
Verbalized a little bit more what we wanted, what we needed. It could have been better for both of us, I think.
Yeah, without a doubt. I couldn't agree more with that comment. It really does come down to communication and being open and transparent with your partner. And we probably didn't do that as much in our younger years. So we were late 20s when we had I was 30 actually when we had our first kid. Nicole was late 20s. And, we say this now with a lot of experience. We've got, 10-year-old and a 7-year-old. We say this with a fair bit of experience now. But looking back then, there was no rule book. There was no someone telling you this is what you should do to make sure that you're successful and that you have a good life. And, they say about work-life balance, which we don't agree with, but work-life blend per se. And that's what I would give to young couples, young families now, is making sure that you and your partner are on the exact same page. Because it'll just help. You don't know what your partner's going through every single day, and they don't know what you're going through. And then when you both come home and you've both had a tough day, and that's where arguments can tend to come into play.
A lot of pressure on relationships.
On both people, because they'll be punching on saying, you've been out with having coffees. I saw you had a coffee with Robbie today. How
I've
good
been
was
here
that?
doing this.
I've been here doing this. And then you're like, hang on.
Cleaning diapers.
Yeah. And then I'm like, hang on, cool. Do you know we just lost $100,000 in this and I have to deal with that? I wish I could stay home and watch TV all day. But you see where that disconnect comes in play, because obviously she's not just watching TV all day or playing tennis or doing whatever you're doing.
Well.
And we'll get onto that part of the life. We'll get there. So yeah, does that answer your question?
I don't remember what the question was.
I feel like I'm
Nah, of
taking
course it
over your
does.
podcast here, Robbie.
Hey,
I feel like I'm taking over your podcast.
it's all yours. I'll be eliminated from this show. very shortly. I'll just pack my stuff up. How did you two meet?
Oh, good one.
Met through a mutual friend, actually. It was nice.
Yeah,
Let's shout him out. Who's
shout him out. Danielle, if you're listening, no doubt you're listening. Oh, you went surname as well. Shit.
Oh, dropped the
From that.
No, that's all right. Yes, we met through a mutual friend. She was more of a family friend with us. So I'd known her since young kids. And then it was funny, one day Nicole came we're at a beach in Dramana. And Danielle was meeting, like you guys came and I was there with my friends. I remember it well. And I remember the first thing that Nicole said to me, actually she didn't say anything to me. She just nodded.
Well,
Right.
just like,
So Danielle, exactly that.
Hey.
So for context,
sup?
and my kids won't listen to this for many years, but or family members probably, but she had a cigarette in her hand too. So she was lying on the beach towel, cigarette in her mouth, and Danielle's like, oh, hey, George, come, blah, blah, blah. This is my friend, it was Christiana there. So it was Christiana, and this is my other friend, Nicole. Christiana, lovely girl, really nice. Hi, George, nice to meet you. I'm like, oh, hey, she goes, Nicole. Nicole just, oh, hi, Nicole, I'm George. She just looks at me, gives me a nod, and then another puff of the cigarette, and continued working on her tan. So, look, it probably didn't help that I rocked up on a jet ski as well. I was like, hey, babe.
For me.
Hey, babes, do you want to come on a ride?
Yeah.
So that's probably
Join me on my jet ski.
Yeah, mid-20s, full of testosterone. What's cracking? Crackers.
At your peak. That's the absolute peak.
Not much has changed now. We're still
Still got a jet ski.
Still got a jet ski.
Still full of testosterone.
Still full of testosterone.
The jet ski's mine.
Yeah, I just borrow it sometimes.
I got yelled at.
When you
Well, was it Nagambie Lakes? And Robbie took the ski for a drive, and Nicole was like, "What are you doing on my jet ski?"
in trouble.
Yeah,
It's good fun,
at
mate.
least it inspired you.
It did. It made me want to get one.
Good. You gonna tow it on the Tesla or the Ranger?
I saw the Tesla Cybertrucks can tow 5 tons.
I don't. Do they even sell them here?
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
You got to put an order in.
Oh, cool. Maybe get that as a next ute. Company vehicle.
I don't think they're.
No, they're in
Yeah,
here.
yeah, they're expensive.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon. Can I just have you seen that? You've seen the Tesla truck, haven't you?
I don't know if it'd be a great workout.
I reckon he did that as like him and his mates would have been in a room and just gone, let's design the ugliest car
weird
on the
looking,
face of the planet, and let's laugh at everyone when they buy it, and it's the highest selling ute in the world. Because it's not a good looking car. I don't care what anyone says. That's not a good looking car.
It looks different.
It's just like, it looks like an 80s futuristic vehicle, like what they would dream up in the 80s as the future.
Yeah.
That's what
It's like sharp edges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Have you seen it?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super weird.
Super.
All right, cool. So what else? Communication heated up, obviously, when you first met.
Yeah, it took a few goes. It was probably wasn't until the third time that we met that Nicole actually spoke to me. Even the second time, it was very similar.
It was until he sold his jet ski.
Yeah, I did. I sold it. That's right. And then I was like, I sent you a message.
You had a few jet skis, huh?
Over the years, yeah, a couple.
Let's get the story straight. I sent you a message saying,
Yes.
call me when you sell your jet ski. And he sold his jet ski very quickly.
Oh, George never told us this side of the story.
I knew.
Go out with him.
I knew what I had to do, and I went and did it. I knew what I wanted.
It's called action, guys.
That's it.
Take note.
That's it. So yeah, it was an amazing journey the whole way through, and here we are today. But going on from what we were speaking about, so we had that conversation early days that okay, Nicole was going to be a stay-at-home mum, and then I was going to be the traditional roles, stay-at-home mum, provider, and I think that's a huge advantage. If you're in a position where one person can stay home, like the wife can stay home and the husband can work, and you can financially afford that, I think it's massive because your wife Well, your partner gets to raise the children, not the childcare, not the grandparents.
Be the biggest influence on them.
They're the biggest
But in saying that, there's a lot of pressure
Oh, without
on
a
the
doubt.
husband.
Oh, there's both. There's
too
one on
much, I
both.
think.
But this is where I'm saying, where if you're not trained, like we had the conversation
But
the other day.
looking back, those early years were great. But I think as they get a little bit older,
Yeah.
I think it's important that the mother also focuses on her life,
Oh, yeah.
career.
Yeah. We'll get into that for sure.
Yeah,
We'll get into that. But because I think that served us well at the beginning,
it did.
you know, and I still don't regret it. And I even to now, if Nicole, and I've said this before, I think in previous episodes, if you said to me, look, I'm done, I don't want to work for the rest of my life, I'm cool. You know, I'll just play tennis every day. I'll just, you know, do what I'm doing. I'm having fun. I enjoy this. I actually enjoy this lifestyle. I get fulfillment from it because that's important. I get fulfillment just from picking up the kids at 3, taking them to school, going for coffees with friends, playing tennis. And to a lot of people, that sounds like the dream life. All right. But if you had fulfillment for that and you said that to me, I'd be like totally fine. And Nicole's friends used to bag her, oh, look at you, you got the best life, you know, good life, being, you know, doing what you want, when you want, all that sort of stuff. I'm like, yeah, fucking oath it is. Absolutely, it's a good life. We worked hard for this life. That's why she can live that. And this is another misconception too. So I make the money in the relationship, yeah? I couldn't do what I do if Nicole didn't do what she did. So out of consequence, the only reason we make good money is because Nicole is a key contributor to that.
It's all me, really.
Yeah.
But if I had to take,
I think it's all Nicole.
yeah, well, if I had to take the kids to school every single morning, like that's 2 hours of my day gone. If I had to pick them up every single morning, that's every single afternoon, that's 4 hours of my day gone. If I had to come home and cook dinner and have that ready before everyone was there, like it's not feasible for me to do all that. And shout out to all the single parents out there working and looking after kids. But if I had to do all of that, then there was no way I could have invested the time, effort, resources into building the companies that I have over the years. So as a direct result and consequence, Nicole has been one of the key contributors to us being successful over the years. And some people forget that. They think, oh, the man's made all the money. The man bought the house. The man did this, the man did that. And it's not the case at all. Not in my case anyway.
It's a partnership.
Yeah, 100% it's a partnership. And, you know, touching on what you said a little bit after that was it's good to have that purpose after as well. So, you know, once your kids say get to a point where they're potentially both at school or don't no longer need you 24/7 to look after them, then
There's so much tennis you can play. There's so much copies you can have. It does get a little bit boring at times.
yeah, and then I suppose that's the biggest challenge for you now, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. And I have been so grateful over the years for being in a position where I can do that. But I think you then reach a point in your life where your kids are a little bit older, where you need to then shift that focus to yourself and focus on your purpose and what you want
Yeah.
and what makes you happy. And just being that little bit selfish, I guess.
Yeah.
And just, you know, you got to let go of the kids a little bit more. They don't need you as much.
Yeah, and and that's the thing, you've been so selfless. And I think that's what we do as adults and parents particularly. We give everything to our kids. Everything's about our
mistake.
kids. It is.
It is a mistake.
It is.
Yeah, I think it's a mistake.
Yeah, you're without a doubt. And you don't have kids too. I like this because it's like I can almost give you the advice before you even get into it. But
There's a
yeah,
fine line.
yeah, it is. It is.
There's a fine line. Yeah.
It is. You're giving everything to it. And whilst that's a selfless and beautiful thing, yeah, you want your kids to prosper. But if your relationship suffers as a result of that, or if your own personal and mental health suffers because you're giving everything else to everyone, then really the kids aren't going to benefit from that.
Yeah,
Because imagine you come home to a parents arguing every single night. But, I'm just giving everything to the kids.
That's one thing. Another thing is, if you don't continue to develop as a person, your kids will surpass you when they're 15.
Yeah.
And then it's like, who do they turn to then?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And then they have no one that they can depend on. And I say that because I reckon I still have the most selfless mother in the world. Like if I called my mum now and said, hey, there's a shirt on my floor. We don't live together. I live on my own. If I said there's a shirt on my floor in my room, you need to drive. It'll be at least a 40-minute drive from where she lives. You need to drive, pick it up, take it home, wash it, dry it. I need it tonight. She would go do it right now.
Yeah.
Like, she would do anything, not just for me, for any of her kids. But I also saw her go through a point where when we all grew up, she lost her identity
Yes.
because she had nothing. She's like, she lived for her kids, and then all of a sudden, her kids
grow
don't
up
her anymore.
Yeah.
And then she just didn't know what to do with herself.
And that's the struggle I'm encountering at the moment, to be honest.
Yeah, but the good thing is you're still very young and our kids are still very young. And I think for you, it's like, well, so give a bit of context. What did you do? Tell everyone what you did before we had kids, when you were working.
Yeah, I was in real estate for several years. Didn't love it.
I would say
Made it
I would
easy, I
change
guess,
that.
for me to be a stay-at-home mum and give George that opportunity to pursue his dreams.
But I would say you hated it.
I did. I hated it. I suppose I've never really found my thing.
Yeah.
in
See,
life.
I find
That's just because you haven't done enough. Like, you haven't tried
that's all it is.
things.
Yeah.
That's all it is. I think it's just you got to try things out. And for yourself, I kind of get your dilemma too, because I think you would be quite entrepreneurial in the sense that you would do really well if you had your own business.
Yes.
But it's a matter of
focused.
it's a matter of
I could
finding
even
what it
start
is.
my own podcast after this.
And yeah, that's it.
There you go.
We're going to $1 billion.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click just over here. Or if you want to watch the full episode, you can click over here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.